call to order the July 25th, 2018 Transportation Committee meeting being held today in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Councilman Randy Couillard will say the invocation and lead us in the pledge. Please rise.
Everyone, please stand for the prayer. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Dear Lord, we thank you for this day. Lord, we ask that you look over the people of Ascension and carry everyone through this heat that we have in this summer. Lord, we ask that everyone that is healthy look to their neighbors, to those that are elderly, those in need, and lend them a hand. Lord, we ask that you continue as we get into the darkest parts of the hurricane season. Keep the people of the Gulf South region and Ascension Parish safe from harm. We ask this in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If anyone would like to comment, please sign a card. You'll get 3 minutes to speak. Bring it up to the secretary. Item number 4, committee chairman's report. I have nothing to add at this meeting. Item number 5, acceptance of minutes of the June 11th, 2018 meeting as written.
Motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Cagnolati and a second by Councilwoman Cazzo. No objections, so moved. Item number 6, modification to transportation impact fee ordinance. Jerome Fournier.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, this is a follow-up to the last meeting where you asked me to come back and do some additional work on this. The 3 items that we're asking for modifications in the transportation impact fee ordinance are, number 1, to add and remove certain major roads within the program. You can see on attachment A on the handout that we gave you, the impact fee, the sheet titled Impact Fee 2017 shows the existing road network. The Impact Fee 2018 are the differences in the two. You can see, I'll point out just a few of them right now. Highway 42 from Airline Highway up to 44, we're removing that portion because it's under construction now. The funding's already available. And we're adding the section in that's from 44 all the way to the traffic circle, all right, because that we would like to get that improved. Those are some of the items. We also pulled out all of the major streets that were part of the program in the city of Gonzales and the town of Sorrento, because those projects at the initial part of this program, they were anticipated to participate in the program and decided not to. So we pulled those out. And as you can see on between 2017 and 18, as an example, Highway, was it 22? Or, yeah, 22 that goes down through Sorrento. That's already constructed, and why it was in there, I'm not quite sure. So anyway, this is kind of a cleanup mechanism. There's a table in there that shows which projects were included and which ones were taken out. All right, so that's the first item that we would recommend a change to the program in. Secondly, we have been asked to look at some of the problems, some of the what I'll call secondary family residential units and exemptions to those. We have a lot of people coming into the parish right now, and me as administrator of the program having to make decisions on whether they're exemptions or not. And under the program right now, these property owners, if they add square footage for residential units onto their property, they're subject to the impact fee. What we'd like to do is exempt those property owners that are like family members, and they're adding on a structure to house a family member for medical reasons, old age, that type thing. We would give them an exemption to the impact fee program for 1,000 square feet or less of additional space.
Do we need a motion going forward to the council on that?
Yes, I think we will on all 3.
Yeah, and in the last item,
3 for the changes, or you want to take them one at a time?
I think we take them all 3 unless we have an objection to one or the other. We can do all 3 and move to the council.
Thank you.
okay. And the last item that we're amending is that the ordinance now requires us to look at an update every year based on the engineering news record. And last month, I came before the committee, and we looked at about a 3.5% increase based on the engineering news record. We would find that a little bit more, and now I've taken the engineering news record for just the New Orleans area. Engineering news record, by the way, is a standardized publication by the engineering profession, and they provide a cost of living index for both construction and for buildings. This is going to be the construction cost index, and it's for the New Orleans area. And you can see that it was a 1.32%. You look at the table I have as attachment C, it's a percent change of 3.2%. All right, so what we'd recommend is that the proposed increase in the impact fee would be 1.32%. So as you can see from right now, 100% of the fee is $26.15, and it would go up to $26.50. All right. Now, you as a council, when the council approved this last year, they decided to approve 70% of the fee of 100%, 70% of the full fee for the East Bank and 25% of the full fee for the West Bank. And so we'd recommend that we just take that 1.3% increase and apply it across the board. All right. So I'm open for discussion. All right.
Councilman Glory.
Thank
Yes,
you, Jerome. And I agree with applying whatever we do across the board.
Yes.
I'm familiar with the ENR, but I'm not familiar with the zones. So we basically fall into the New Orleans.
Right. The
I
NLR.
didn't know how they broke
Yeah.
their zones of the economic zones out.
Yeah. They apply 20 cities in the United States across the country, and I chose the one closest to us, obviously, in New Orleans. So they don't provide one for Baton Rouge,
Yeah, and I just
unfortunately.
want everybody to be clear that you can't get something that's almost exactly like your community.
Correct.
You've got an area, an economic area.
Correct. Exactly. And under that definition, it tells you how this fee, how the construction cost index is applied
Right.
in that paragraph that I provided on that table. All right.
I'd just like to add, just so the public can understanding of it, if you're building a house 3,000 square feet or more, you're going to see a $27 increase. So we're not talking about a tremendous increase here. We're just keeping up with the cost of construction. Do
Correct.
we have a motion?
I have a motion, I make motion to go with all three changes
I'll
to the
second
full
that.
council.
We have a motion in 2 seconds. Any discussion? None. Any objections? None. So moved. Thank you all. Thank you,
Thank you.
Jerome. Number 7, public transportation discussion. This has my name on it. I put this on the agenda at the request of Robin Penn Delaney, who's a local school board member here in Donaldsonville. She'd asked me to start a conversation, a discussion on public transportation. She planned to be here tonight, but she couldn't make it, unfortunately. So what we'll do is we're going to continue to discuss this. We're going to move this into the future, to the next meeting. But just to give the public an idea of what we're talking about here, I've seen some things. We're not simply talking about cats. We're talking about moving people to and from places of business, helping relieve congestion. When we've got 1,000 people that work at a plant and they're all got their own pickup truck, there's a way to get some of those off the road, save those drivers some gas, which is an after-tax savings to them, increase the number of cars that go through at a light cycle. We're going to look at ways to do it. So that's all we're doing here. We're going to start a discussion on this. Unless anybody has anything to add, I was really hoping that Ms. Delaney would be here, but I understand she absolutely could make it. We'll save this to the next meeting. Okay, so it is something that we look forward to discussing, though. We'll move on to number 7, Department Report, Mike Antelope. I'm sorry, it's number 8.
I'm going to step in for him.
Mike, you look great.
Thank you. Good
Big
evening.
improvement.
So the 2017 road maintenance contract, Coastal is finally finished with all of their work. Right now, I'm waiting for them to submit some documentation to pay their final invoice. As soon as that's done, we can file a substantial completion and be done with the contract. So we're happy to have that finished and move on. The 2018 road maintenance package is doing very well. They've already finished task 1. Substantial completion has been issued or been filed. So we issued tasks 2 and 3. As you can see, all the roads listed down through Plantation Boulevard, the construction is complete. There's a Lake Crossing Drive, they're going to lay asphalt Friday, so they're really doing a good job and moving forward with our work. As I want to mention Jeanette, that was included on task 2, but the vast majority of the money associated with Jeanette is roadside drainage. So we talked with the drainage department, and they agreed to fund the installation of the pipe as well as the materials. So that'll be a cost savings to the transportation department. We'll be able to use those funds on a different road. So you'll see a little bit later on in the meeting, I'm going to present a change order to take Jeanette off of this task and issue it separately so that we can save some money. Task 3 includes a couple of roads on the side of the river. They started patching Green Gable. They should have asphalt done on that street by the end of the month. Township, after the bridge was replaced, we scheduled it to be completely reconstructed. That should begin by the 1st of August. Oak and Guidry, those are in Sorrento. They're planning on paving those next Monday. And Rena Lawson, they finished that pretty quickly. They coordinated with our pavement management group and got that done as they requested. Table A and B details the tasks and what's included, as well as the bid amount for the contract and what we've tasked out as far as work. LA 3127 extension, I'm going to hand that off to Mike.
All right, good evening. In front of you, you'll see the progress to period for the LA 3127 extension. Our consultant has completed most of the subsurface utility engineering. They're in 15% design plans, as well as preparing the 15% bridge design plans. They're doing a lot of engineering work on the area, hydraulic analysis of Bayou Lafourche, and as well as archaeological survey for the Phase 1 field work. Looking at all the pipelines and all the conflicts that we're going to have with all the pipelines out there. So they're just kind of putting everything together as we expected. I believe they're about a week and a half ahead of schedule, which is good. So next reporting period, they're hoping to have the subsurface utility engineering completed and topographic survey deliverable to the parish for review. The only other item that I guess that we needed to discuss in the next few months is if this is to continue on and go to DOTD or FHWA, is going to need to have a traffic analysis done at the intersection of 3127, which is something we already knew. It's just another step in the process. So if any of you all have any questions on that, I'll be happy to answer. If not, we can continue on. Good?
Mike, who
Yes,
does
sir.
the traffic study, DOTD, or
I'm sorry?
who does that traffic study?
We would
DOTD?
do it. It would be part of what our consultant could provide. So. Any other questions? Okay. Are there any other projects that anyone has any questions on?
I'm sorry, I just wanted to mention LA 22. It's been lingering for a long time. DOTD, the chief engineer, finally signed the plans. They're putting it out to bid. They're advertising next month. August 15th is when they're going to start advertising. And they should award the bid by September 1st. So I just wanted to let y'all know that is moving forward to construction.
Councilwoman Cazza.
Yes, I only want to comment on how appreciative we are in District 8 for the successful completion of the bridge lift on on Bluff Road. And my understanding is that the three-way stop sign is going to be left there at least until a traffic count can be done at Sebro and Bluff. It's been a tremendous help to the members of our community, especially those at the end of, when they come to the end of Sebro and take a left. A lot of young people in that area, new drivers, and their parents have reached out to me how pleased they are to have that stop sign there, which gives those kids some, a little bit of safety as they make the decision whether they're going to take that left or not. However, I want to remind people who live out there, we have a lot more through traffic through there now. Some of these folks are not familiar with that stop sign. please, please, look before you enter that intersection. Do not trust that everybody's going to stop. I mean, that's what we should do at any intersection, but certainly it's even more important, I think, with this one, since this through traffic only had a minimal amount of exposure to that stop sign before the bridge was closed. Also, I need to personally thank the DPW's team for getting Alligator Bayou Road ready to go. That was opened as well this morning, and from what I understand, things are going well there. I've requested that the signage be reinstalled on that road, and we've also asked today if it was possible to get some no parking signs along there. That road gets really narrow when people are parked along the side, so we're inquiring as to what the laws are on local roads about those kinds of signs. But thanks again for everything, and our hats are off to LADOTD and our team of DPW, the paving management team. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Alan Bro does a great job with that group, and we appreciate the efforts. So thank you for mentioning that.
You're welcome.
If you all don't have any other questions on any of the DOTD projects, I'll move into the Move Ascension update.
Yeah, I do.
You do, Councilman Kluwat? Yes, sir.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
I apologize.
What about Gold Place?
Gold Place, the intersection improvement, looks like they're heavily involved in moving the utilities. I'm not sure how much longer that's going to be on the utility relocation, but
That's what I'm trying to,
here we go. It's on page 5 of their
okay.
60 working days. They've just got into the working days. I guess the utility relocations have been completed, so they're into the contract time here. Anticipated completion date is December 18th of 2018. So get some good weather, and hopefully they keep it in a bind, you know. So
About 5 months to do it. Good deal. And of course, I know it's out of y'all control, and I appreciate, Mike, you and your department keeping us updated on that LA 431
yes, sir.
curve. That looks like they started to do some more side work, and they definitely got a couple more layers to put on it and straighten it out. So I mean, I don't know how fast it's going, but we're still getting a lot of complaints. That job's been dragging on forever.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know, Tacey, you got more? You want to say more?
We met with their subcontractor, their drainage subcontractor. It was about 3 weeks ago, and he said he was just going to get started, but I've seen him out there. I know he's doing the best he can. He knows that they're behind, but as soon as he finishes, that's when I think they'll move forward with the pavement.
So he is the drainage subcontractor for Coastal on
Yes,
that
sir.
project?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. They had trouble
'Cause
finding.
they're doing some decent work.
Right.
now.
They had trouble finding an approved subcontractor, but they finally did. So
Good deal.
I think that's what the big delay was.
Because, you know, in certain ways, it's almost a safety hazard the way it is right now.
Right.
Rather than the safety improvement it's meant to be. That's all I got, sir.
Thank you. Councilman Cataldi.
Again, thank you for staying on top of that, because I have constituents on the west side of 431, and
Yeah.
they have a hard time getting out right in that curve
Yes, sir.
at times, but tell them to please stay on top of it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We've got a good relationship with the district guys, and I know they're doing everything they can, so we'll keep you up to speed on it. Okay, any other, move extension? All right, you all have the update in front of you. You'll see the list of the contracts that are out. We have the US 61 signal timing and synchronization implementation for phase 1 will be August 2018. They're going to monitor, DOT will monitor the new timing for a little while and determine if any tweaks that need to be made. That's generally how it happens. We'll get a few complaints here and there, and they'll take a look at it and adjust it as need be. That's typically how all that works. They're working on the new signal timing design for the second phase right now, and modeling all field work for phase 2 will be complete in about a month and a half. So this is something we're doing the design work on. DOTD at the district level is implementing this stuff. So on top of the, they're shorthanded as well with engineers. So on top of the work that they do every day, this is something extra they're doing. So we appreciate the work that the district is doing. Chris Ewing does a fantastic job, and we appreciate the help. There's a project status attachment with the percentage of complete for all the projects. If you all don't have any questions with that, I'll go on to the next bulleted item.
Do we have any questions on the Move Ascension projects?
That also will be updated on the website, the Move Ascension website.
I will say real briefly, I know we've started our right-of-way work.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to be very respectful of the people of our GCR, I think it is.
It's sub-consultant, yes, sir. GCR.
So when they come to your house, please be respectful of them. Let's get the property moving so we can get these projects moving. On that, we'll move on to item number 9, approval to amend task order number 5, right-of-way acquisition services to authorize work on all Move Ascension projects under the Master Transportation Development and Implementation Contract.
Okay, so when the task order was created, initially it was set up to take care of the right-of-way for the immediate action or quick start projects, the first 6 projects that we brought to you all. We're into a whole another phase of projects. They're all one phase now, and we're moving quite right along with the pre-construction activities. Task order 4 and 5, if you recall, was environmental work and right-of-way acquisition services, and we decided to do that as a programmatic component instead of having the sub-consultants do that. So what we're asking tonight is to allow us to move forward with right-of-way acquisition on the rest of all the projects that we're doing design work on. And this reallocates the authority for us to do that. I'm sorry, adds the authority for us to do that per the task order.
Good question.
Councilman Clute.
Mike, that's within budget?
Yes, there's no money, no extra money. This is, we had additional realization on task order 5 for the right-of-way. We budgeted high because of the complexities of purchasing right-of-way, especially with the corridor like Roddy Road and having so many parcels. We shot high, and we have because of doing some of the different things that we were able to do once we got down to certain individual properties, different appraisal forms and such, we've realized some savings. So we're able to get moving on other projects with the environmental, and it looks like we'll have enough money for right away.
It's basically the same task, you're just moving leftover budget, moving it into the next task.
That's right.
Motion to approve.
Yes, thank you.
We have a motion by Councilman Cazzo, a second by Councilman Kekalani. Any opposition? None, so moved. Moving on to item number 10. Approval to amend task order number 5, right-of-way acquisition services, to reallocate monies to task order number 4, environmental permitting services, in order to continue to secure core permits for all Move Ascension projects under the Master Transportation Development and Implementation Contract.
Okay, so this is, again, for task order 4 is environmental work. We initially set it up for the first 6 immediate action projects. We're ready to move on to the rest of the projects. We're getting environmental clearances, or going to get environmental clearances programmatically for these projects. And we're asking to reallocate some of the money, the cost savings on task order 5 that are within budget to that task order. So this is just moving the money from task order 5 to task order 4. It's all within the same budget amount.
Motion to approve. So we have a motion to approve by Councilman Kekalani, a second by Councilwoman Cazzo. Any objection? None, so moved. Item number 11, approval to amend task order number 4, environmental permitting services, to authorize work on all Move Ascension projects under the Master Transportation Development and Implementation Contract.
This is similar to number 9. This is to just approve adding the projects to task order 4 and carrying forward with the work on the additional projects on task order 4.
And Mr. Enlow, This would, I believe I'm correct me if I'm wrong, so I hope you will. This would include the Cebro, Safety Widening, Tiki Duplessis, Germany Road Widening. Is that?
Correct.
In addition to a couple other ones?
And really all the ones we have listed here, but yes, you're correct.
Very good.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Councilman Cavallotti, a second by Councilwoman Cazzo. Any objection? None, so approved. Moving on to item number 12, approval of change 2, RJ Daigle 2018 asphalt overlay. Tacey?
This is the change order I was referring to earlier. Just to kind of give you a little bit of a background, Jeanette Road, the ditches are eroding into the roadbed and the side of the roads that are falling off. So we are working with our drainage department to install pipes pipes in the ditches so that we can stabilize the road. We need approval from the drainage board to do some of this work. So Jeanette that's because it's delayed, we're just going to move it back and issue a different task for Jeanette only. The contractor is ready to finish up task 2. So by doing this, he can file substantial completion and get his retainage back. And when we're ready to issue this, he'll be ready to go.
So you,
Motion.
Second.
Do we have any discussion? We have a motion and a second. Any objection? None, so moved. Mike Genla.
I wanted to add one thing that was in the report to personally thank Councilman Kluot for his help with some individuals on the Babin Road Bridge Replacement Project for purchasing the right-of-way. He was able to get us in contact with someone that worked with a gentleman, and it was very, very beneficial to us. So I appreciate the help.
And I just want to commend the good citizens and the business people of that area for doing what's best for the parish and what's best for the community.
Lead by example. Very briefly, I want to thank everybody on this council. We moved this, on this committee, we moved this over to Donaldsonville. They traveled over here. I want to thank Darla for coming over here. Everybody out in the crowd tonight, thank you all for coming to Donaldsonville. Maybe we'll do this again in the future. Item number 13. Councilman Cavallotti. So moved.